Hello and welcome to The One Show with Christine Blakely.
And Adrian Charles. And Adrian has another Northern Irish woman to contend with this evening.
Oh yes, she's been a silent witness now. A commander, Amanda Burton, is here.
Yeah.
Very nice to have you along, Amanda.
Yes,
You're very welcome
evening.
indeed.
Also giving evidence tonight to 3 likely suspects, Wilding, Bell and Tufnell.
Do you get the sense the measures to tackle these things are actually going to work?
I very much hope so. The government's given £24 million to VOSA, and with that they're going to recruit and train 130 new officers. With that they envisage a 50% increase in the amount of checks they can do and the amount of prohibitions that they serve where they take the driver and the vehicle off the road until the fault is sorted out. So let's hope that works at least.
Okay, now you're, Amanda, you've done a bit of lorry driving in your time, to my
yes, I have,
consternation.
Yes.
Tell us about it. How big was it?
It was a big lorry.
Was it really?
Yes, it was a big horse lorry. So I just used to drive my daughters and 3 horses around to events at the weekend. And I loved it because I love driving. And even though I almost needed a ladder to get into the cab, you know, but it gives you an amazing feeling of power being in a great big lorry. And of course, I didn't need to have a special license because it was a 7.5-ton lorry. But I hope I was a careful and considerate lorry driver.
Sure you were. Nobody is suggesting otherwise.
No, of course not.
No.
You've met Rav, haven't you? Of course, our ex-copper on the show here, Mandy. So you'd technically be his boss if you were in the show, really.
She would?
Yeah.
Very much so.
She would. You forget, Rav.
I wasn't going to pull rank.
I'll do it for you, then.
Listen, we'd like to, in the commander, actually, the commander of Scotland Yard's Serious Crime Group, you described it as a very personal kind of work as well.
Yes, this next story that's coming out next week, it's very much a personal story because it's a DCI James character played by Mark Lewis Jones, who's my second in command on the murder squad, and his child, his baby, his newborn baby, is abducted, and there's a sort of feeling really that she's become very personally involved with this baby from the onset, because of it being such a close tie.
Right. So it's tough stuff there, and we've got this bit we've got here. There's more drama in it. There's another storyline here. These colleagues actually been charged with murder here, and you're on his case.
Oh my God, I've known him for years. I've never seen him aggressive, let alone violent.
He was pretty violent last night. You've also got a woman with her head caved in, Doug. If he did kill her, he's going to have to pay the price, drunk or not. He may get manslaughter or diminished responsibility.
Oh, what a mess.
Yes, it is, and we can't be seen to be doing Brian any favours.
Claire, I can't just give up and walk away.
Well, you might have to.
Amanda, do you hang out in police stations and
No.
try and pick up research tips? Is that what you do? You have that look about you like you know what you're doing there, don't you?
Well, it's always very, very well detailed by Linda LaPlante, so you know the research is minimal really because it's all there in the script. I mean, I did have the pleasure of meeting a real life commander, a female commander, before I took up this role, and she was a very elegant woman and very, very in control.
Well, let's say you say Linda LaPlante has equipped you with some kind of police skills. We thought we'd test how well you know the world of policing. Let's play.
Oh.
Yes. Cop or not?
Cop or not?
Cop or not?
See the change in lights, we mean business now.
It's serious stuff. This is blue lights as well.
Oh, yeah. We did there, yeah.
We thought about that. Questions from the world of policing. How many can you get right? Rav, real cop, against Amanda, pretend cop. Expert. Amanda, can you recite the police caution for us?
No!
Come on, have a bash.
No, I really can't.
Okay, Rav, go on and press us.
I hope so. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you may later rely on at court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Oh, perfection. Rav, you can say that to us any time. Okay, second up. Okay, can you handcuff Dave, our props man?
Okay, just get on with it. You have a set of cuffs each. Have you got
Go on, Amanda, have a go.
Oh, heavens, aren't you supposed to do something like this?
No, I don't think she
1, 2, 3, go on, Ralph.
Go on, you do it. Oh, yes.
Over there,
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
Oh, look at him.
There you go.
Okay, for your punishment, Amanda, we're going to handcuff you to Dave. And it's yours all weekend to do it with. Back you down. Back into your box, please.
Thanks very much, Tim.
Okay, don't leave it.
Oh, I'm a complete fake, aren't I?
We're looking at the history of women's magazines. Very interesting piece coming up from Angelica Bell. But it just struck me. I mean, the complaint is how they mistreat celebrities and women's body image. I think they rather objectify the male of the species as well. There's a good example in this.
Oh, no, I disagree, if I'm being honest, because I don't think.
Oh, hang on.
Not being negative in any
My
sort. I mean,
goodness.
you know, it's just Rav. It's just Rav, eh? Did we embarrass you enough there?
That's because you've got
Wilding
all
by
the
name and
questions.
by nature. That's all we'll say.
Women's magazines.
It's confusing, and I think it's belittling an enormous amount of what women could be reading about.
Yeah.
That's why I think a small section of women's magazines has gone in decline, because women don't want to see that. They want to see positive stories, real life stories. You know, there's some monthlies where they have stories about other cultures where you can learn something as well. And it is a big pressure, and I think that's why women's magazines aren't dead, but women are more savvy and want to have better stories to read.
Okay.
You know, a mistake I've made a couple of times, nearly on the show already, is calling you Heather. I've still got you in my mind as Heather Havisham from Brookside.
Okay.
I call you Heather. If it happens again, I apologise.
That's like about 27 years
I know,
ago.
but I was an adolescent boy at the time, and
Yes,
you were much admired by
And I was
my
still
age
a very
at the time.
mature woman.
That's enough of that.
But,
It's Amanda.
But since then, Amanda, obviously Silent Witness, and it's made a big success of something when it is parodied so superbly by French and Saunders, and then here by Dead Ringers.
What we have here is my leaving present. I can tell just from glancing that it's a gift set from the body shop. Probably cost under £10. And I can also deduce from this present that not only am I very unpopular and that nobody can wait to see the back of me, but also that the boys in DNA testing refuse to chip in, which means I'm going to stare mournfully into middle distance and contemplate the tragedy of my poorly attended leaving do at all bar one.
Actually, Professor Rob, we're just pulling your leg. This isn't your real leaving present at all.
Oh, it isn't?
Of course not. Everyone clubbed together and got you a really big present.
Oh.
It's very expensive.
That didn't happen at your leaving, did it, from Silent Witness?
No, I can't remember. It was such a long time ago.
It's not a bad Northern Irish accent there, is it either?
Absolutely.
Good girl. Look, we often don't like other people taking the mick out of our work, but we can be our own worst critics, actually.
You can check out our celebrity self-portraits on our website. That'll say a lot, won't it?
Yes. Elaine Page drew this of herself. It looks like some bizarre dream she's had when she's been on the end of somebody's fishing rod. Looks like she's been hooked.
It's a bit odd, isn't it? This one's from Bill Oddie. Need of a bit of a beard trim.
But
Actually, looks like a big bird.
It's well drawn, though, unlike Alan Shearer, football legend, who either couldn't be bothered, who just can't draw. Both of the two, I would suggest. Alan, if you're watching, that is rubbish.
I think he looks happy, though. He's
He does
happy.
look happy, of course he is. Great piece, awful jacket there, Phil.
I was in camouflage.
Yes.
I didn't want King Henry to see me chop my head off.
It was a bad time to be British all round.
It was indeed. I mean, the life expectancy was only 35 years old, so it was pretty grim, and that was through sort of like bad diet or someone coming along and chopping your head off, or wars and things like that. So it really was pretty tough.
Amanda, I'm afraid Phil's suffering from man flu this week.
He is. Keep away.
Do you think
Oh,
that
right.
was an
bit of
accepted phenomenon in Tudor times? What do you think somebody went to the court of...
Well, they used
I've got
to-
such a man flu, Your Highness, I can't come in today.
That's another thing that you used to do. I mean, if you had rheumatism, they used to make you wander around in a donkey skin, or sort of like if you had asthma, you had to swallow little live frogs or spiders to make you better. So no, it didn't last too long. you
Oh,
know
that's
what I mean?
really horrible.
But they said put them in butter so they just slip down a little bit easier.
stop it.
You know what I mean? So, just a little hint there.
Should
if you've got
bring
a bit
some
of
on now
asthma.
for you, shouldn't we? Make
Yeah.
them do it. But
He's
we
a
won't.
wealth of knowledge, isn't
Yeah.
he?
He is.
Like the Tudor
And they
family.
didn't muck about either, because if you try to poison someone, they boiled you alive as
Did you?
well. So don't.
You're just
poison
riffing now,
anyone.
you're making this up. There is a wealth of knowledge.
About my
That's
jacket.
the extent of his knowledge. He knows no more. You had another
Don't
10
ask him
minutes.
any more
No,
questions.
No more
Yeah.
questions. This week the government's been busy, haven't they? Or DEFRA have. There's a number of problems in the world, aren't there?
There are,
Credit crunch and so on.
yeah,
And what they've been doing, look at this. I don't want to belittle this work, it is important. Consultation on code of practice for the welfare of cats.
Yes.
Wow. Just some of the groundbreaking advice they give in the 28-page document includes...
Says things like, your cat should have somewhere suitable to go to the toilet.
Your cat should not be too fat or too thin.
That's right. And dogs should be introduced to cats very carefully.
Do be careful. Hidden within the blindingly obvious is some actually rather good advice, including where cats come into close contact with other cats they don't like, they may become very stressed. Tell us about your problem pets, Amanda. Go on, you must have had some in your time.
Well, actually, fireworks and my dogs don't mix terribly well, so it's the first time I've been out for about 10 days because I've been in the kitchen, sort of soothing music, lavender massages, you know, but they go mad.
Looking at that pet behaviourist's advice there, we wondered if it might work for us.
Yeah, you see, sometimes behind the scenes, Adrian and I don't always see eye to eye, so the team made us separate play areas today.
Yes, it's really worked a treat for the cats and for us, look.
What are we like?
She hurt my elbow.
Anyway, thank you very much, Amanda. It was lovely to see you. Thank you, Bill.
James Blunt, Rob Brydon, Mick Hocknell, Fern Britton with us next week. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.